Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prince Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhar ki jai, Vrndavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the Assembly. All glories to the Assembly. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So today's morning class will be on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 25, 1 to 25. And the class was given in Vrndavan on the 5th of November 1972.
Agre Bhagavantam Adokshajam Visuddhyam Himaya Vejire Munayathagre Bhagavantam Adokshajam Sattam Visuddham Kshemaya Nutaniha Vejire Munayathagre Bhagavantam Adokshajam Satyam Visuddham Kshemaya Kalpante Jenutaniha Vejire Munayathagre Sattvam Vishuddham Kshemaya Sattvam Vishuddham Kshemaya Kalpante Jenutaniha Kalpante Jenutaniha. Why don't you spread Agre Bhagavantam Madhukshajam Shaktam Visuddham Kshemaya Kalpante Jenutani. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the transcendental personality of Godhead. Bhagavan, due to his existence above the three modes of material nature, they worship him to become free from material condition. Whoever follows such sages is also eligible for liberation from the material world. So, Bhejire Munaya Athagre Bhagavantam Adhokshajam. There are some theories, that is not fact, that ultimately the absolute truth is impersonal. But here we find the Agre in the beginning, after creation, all the sages, first of all there was Brahma, and then he created so many saintly persons, Marichyadi, great sages, and they also engaged themselves in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not impersonal, from the very beginning. Vejire munaya atha agre. From the very beginning. Bhagavantam adhokshaja. Adhokshajam, you have described many times, beyond our sense perception. This absolute truth is a person, it is very difficult to understand. Beyond our sense perception. Generally they think that how a person can create such huge cosmic manifestation. That is their view. They cannot accommodate in the teeny, poor brain that the original absolute truth is a person. That is their problem. So, their idea is that by personal worship, one has to reach again to the impersonal transcendence. But we don't find from the Shastra like that. Now the most authentic Shastra is Vedanta. Vedanta is accepted by all classes of men. Because without accepting Vedanta, nobody will be bona fide. Generally they think that the impersonalists are Vedantists. Generally they think, but that's a wrong conception. They, all the Vaishnavas, Ramanujarya, Madhvacharya, they are also Vedantists. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vedantist. We are also Vedantists. It is not that Vedanta is the monopoly of the impersonalists, no. Now the Vedanta, in the beginning, it is, this first sutra is Athat Brahma Jigyan. So, to inquire about Brahma, the Absolute. Now, the next answer is Janmadasya Jataha. Brahma, the Absolute Truth, is that from whom everything emanates. Janmadasya Jataha. Now, this Janmadasya Jataha is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is explained by Vyasdev himself. Vyasdev is explaining Vedanta Sutra in his book, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhasayam Brahma Sutrana. Sri Vyasdev says, this is the real comment or bhasya of Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Gaudiya Vaishnava, Goswamis, they did not write any comment on the Vedanta Sutra because they accept Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So why they should write again? But still, when there was such question raised in Jaipur, that the Gaudiya Vaishnava has no commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, at that time Baladev Vidyabhushan, he wrote Govinda Bhasya on Vedanta Sutra. But still, Vedanta Sutra does not mean to understand impersonalism. No, that's not the fact. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the very beginning, the Vedanta Sutra is discussed. Unfortunately, the professional Bhagavat reciters, neither they have got brain, nor do they explain from the very beginning, Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, from the very beginning, Vedanta Sutra is explained. Janmadasya jataha. In the Vedanta Sutra, the answer is, the absolute truth is there, from whom everything emanates. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Janmadasya jata annayat itaratascha artheshu avijñā sarat. As soon as we speak that the original source of everything, Janmadasya jata, so what is the nature of that original source? Whether it is a dead stone or a living being. That is the next question. Everything that we experience is coming from the Supreme Source, whether that Supreme Source is a living being or a dead stone. What will be the answer? From common sense. From common sense, suppose if we find out the original source of everything, what will be the nature of that original? The Bhagavad explains, therefore, avijñā sarat. He is not dead stone, avijñā. He has got consciousness. He has got consciousness. What kind of consciousness? Annayat itaratascha artheshu avijñā. He knows everything directly and indirectly. Now suppose we are also conscious. So what is the nature of our consciousness? Our consciousness is that I know directly everything of my body or of myself. But I do not know indirectly about yourself. I cannot say what is going on in your mind, in your body, what pains and pleasure you are feeling. But I can speak about myself that I am feeling like this, I am thinking like this, I am feeling like this. That I can say. So, my consciousness is not perfect. It is perfect so far I am concerned. But my consciousness does not spread upon you. But here it is said, annayat and vyatirikabhyam avijñā artheshu avijñā. The absolute truth knows everything directly and indirectly. My knowledge is imperfect in this sense that I am eating something, it is being digested in the stomach, so many secretions are coming out, how they are forming into blood, and so many things are going on within the body. I am not directly concerned, neither I know directly. But the absolute truth, the Supreme Being, He knows everything in any corner of the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, his consciousness and my consciousness is, as so far possessing consciousness, the absolute truth and myself are one. But his consciousness is all-pervading, my consciousness is limited. So, the absolute truth cannot be limited, but we are limited. Therefore, here it is said, Bhejire munaya atha agre bhagavantam. In this, we have already discussed that the absolute truth is realized in three features. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. The absolute truth is realized in three phases. Impersonal Brahma, localized Paramatma, and the Supreme Person, Bhagavan. So, the ultimate realization is Bhagavantam, not the impersonal Brahma. That is not ultimate realization. That is partial realization. Even Paramatma realization, that is also partial. The complete realization is Bhagavan. Vadanti tat tattavidas tatyam jad jnanam advayam. There is no duality in the absolute platform, that's a fact. But that does not mean the realization of Brahma is the same as realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not the same. There is no difference so far. The spiritual identity is concerned, the spiritual identity is the same, Brahma, Paramatma or Bhagavan. But because my realization is imperfect, therefore somebody says that Brahma realization is the supreme, somebody says the Paramatma realization is the supreme, somebody says Bhagavan realization is the supreme. But factually, one who has got real realization, he knows the absolute truth is realized in three features according to one's capacity. The absolute truth is one. The example may be given just like the sun god, the sun planet and the sun sign. They are one. But according to the capacity, we can realize the sun sign only. But sun sign is not the perfect realization of the sun. It is partial realization. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti. The full realization is Satchidananda Vigraha. Ishara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Person. Vigraha means person. One who realizes the Supreme Person, and that Supreme Person is Krishna. Ishara Parama Krishna. Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadiradi Govindan Sarvakarana Karanam. That is real realization. So, one who has not reached to that point to realize Krishna, it is to be understood that his knowledge is still imperfect. But these persons who have got imperfect knowledge, they are passing as Vedantis and knows everything. They do not know. Krishna therefore says, Bhaunam Janmanam Ante. these impersonalists, these so-called Vedantis, these so-called men of knowledge, after many, many births, because it is not so easy to understand Krishna, the Supreme Person. They will have to wait for thousands of births to understand Krishna. They will have to wait, although they are very much proud of their knowledge. We know where they are. Partial realization. Of course, they are also in the same field, but they will not understand the Supreme Person. Those who understood the great sages in the beginning of the creation, Munaya, great sages, Marichi, Atreya, Vasishtha and others. So, they worshipped the Supreme Person, Bhagavantam, not the impersonal feature. Impersonal, actually there cannot be any worship of the impersonal feature Brahma. It is simply accepting some trouble. Klesha adhikatarasti sam abbhaktya sakta chetusam. It is simply troublesome. But unfortunately, these impersonalists have spread all over the world. They have no sharp brain to understand the Supreme Person, and they are misguiding the whole population that either impersonalism or voidism, nirvishesha shunyavad. But this Krishna consciousness movement is against this. We are giving directly the name and address and the activities, everything of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are trying to find out the absolute truth. The absolute truth is the Supreme Person. Annayat and avijñā. Avijñā means conscious. And what kind of conscious? What kind of knowledge? Sarat. My knowledge, your knowledge is received from others. Without the Vedantis. The Vedantis, they also receive their knowledge from another Vedantis, the so-called Vedantis. Real Vedantis are the Vaishnavas. And the impersonalist Vedantis, because their knowledge is not perfect, therefore their knowledge of Vedanta is also imperfect. Because they do not know anything about the Supreme Person. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti adha anadhrita jusmadang raya. This is the version of Vyasdev. Because they neglect the Supreme Person, anadhrita jusmat angra, the Vedantis, there are many Vedantis in Vrndavan, but they do not come to see the temple because they think themselves that they have become Krishna. That is the Vedanta, so-called Vedanta philosophy conclusion. But Bhagavat says, the vimukta manina, they are thinking that they have become liberated. That is their concoction. Manina. If somebody thinks that I have become the richest man in the world, although he has nothing to show, to become richest man, there must be some symptoms. But if a poor man says that I am the richest man in the world, so one should test him, whether he has got the complete riches of the world. So simply thinking, concocting is one thing and fact is another. Fact is that we are teeny part and parcel of the absolute truth, but we are not actually absolute, we are relative truth. On the existence of the absolute truth, we are existing, but we have no independent existence, neither we have got independent knowledge, we are all dependent. The independent knowledge, absolute truth, is Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. That is the beginning of Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, Bhejire Munayathagre Bhagavantam Adhoksha. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of God, is beyond the sense perception. This impersonal concept of the absolute truth is a negation of the material duality. But that is not absolute knowledge. Absolute knowledge is that when we reach Bhagavantam Adhokshajam. Sattang Visuddham. His existence is Visuddha, not contaminated. Our existence in this material existence, this is not Visuddha. This is contaminated by the modes of material nature. But his existence is Visuddha. Even Shankaracharya, he says in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Narayana para abhaktyat, bhaktya bhaktyat. There are two material features, manifested and non-manifested. Shankaracharya agrees that Narayana, as soon as he says Narayana, he means the person. Person, the Supreme Person, Narayana, para abhaktyat, he is transcendental. His person is not the same personality as we have got. That is, para means that is adhokhajam, beyond our sense perception. And there are so many other evidences. Krishna says that matta paratarang nanyat. There is no more superior existence than myself. Aham sarvasya prabhava. I am the origin. Janmadasya jata. This verse, this quote is explained by Krishna himself, that I am the origin of everything. And Arjuna, who understood Krishna, he said, Parabrahma parang dhamam pavitram paramam bhavan, Purusham. He accepted the absolute truth, a Purusha, a person. So, the absolute cannot be impersonal. Impersonal is one of the features of the absolute truth, but the absolute truth in the original understanding is person. As Krishna says, Brahmana aham pratishtha. The impersonal Brahma is situated in him. It is his personal rays, effulgence of his bodily rays. Jassa prabha prabhavatu jagadannakut. He has got his bodily effulgence, just like the sunshine is the effulgence of the sun globe. And the sun globe, within the sun globe, there is sun god, Vivasyan. That is also, we get information from the Bhagavad Gita. The sun planet is not impersonal, not a lump of matter. There is the predominating deity in the sun globe, and his name is also given in the Bhagavad Gita, Vivasyan. Vivasyan manovi praho. Praho, he explained Bhagavad Gita, therefore he is a person. as we get this experience that from the sun glow, within the sun glow there is a person, and due to the effulgence of that personal rays of the sun glow, or the population there, every people being glowing, the whole sun planet is so powerful glowing, and the glow is distributed all over the universe. Similarly, there is a glowing effulgence of the Supreme Person. That is called Brahma Jyoti. That Brahma Jyoti is impersonal, but the Brahma Jyoti is resting on the personality of Krishna. So ultimate absolute truth is Krishna. That is the verdict of whole Vedic literature, Vedanta. And Krishna says that Vedaishta sarvai ahameva Veda. Anyone who has not understood Krishna, he has not studied the Vedic literature very perfectly. Vedanta vid Vedanta kritcha aham, Krishna says. He is the compiler of Vedanta. So who will know Vedanta better than Krishna? The so-called Vedantis, they are very much proud of their knowledge of Vedanta, but the real compiler of the Vedanta philosophy is Vyasdev. He is incarnation of Krishna. Therefore Krishna says, Vedanta Krit, Vedanta Vid. He is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra, and he knows what is Vedanta Sutra, not the so-called Mayavadi philosophers. So we have to learn Vedanta Sutra from Krishna, not from others. Not from others. We are not going to be befooled. We know what is Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra points out that here is the person, Supreme Person, Krishna, Ishara Parama Krishna. Brahma says, Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Krishna himself says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. He is the origin, because the absolute truth is the origin of everything. The Krishna is the origin of everything. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. He is the origin of even Narayana. He is the origin of Brahma. He is the origin of Lord Shiva. He is origin of the Brahma effulgence. He is origin of Paramatma. Ishara Sarvabhutana Riddeshe Arjuna Tisthati. But the origin from Paramatma is another expansion of Krishna. That is also explained. Iti chamsakala pungsa krishnastu bhagavan sayam. With our this philosophy, Krishna consciousness, we are pointing out the Supreme Person, Krishnastu bhagavan sayam. Everyone is searching after God. We are delivering. Krishna is delivering himself. That is his kindness. That is his mercy. And Lord Chaitanya is delivering Krishna. Krishna prema pradaya. Not only Krishna, he is giving love of Krishna. So, these Krishna consciousness people, they should not be misled by so-called Vedantists or impersonalists or voidists. They should stick to the principle as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore we present Bhagavad Gita as it is. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Amagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for allowing me to facilitate this commentary of Srila Prabhupada's class. We have wonderful personalities amongst us here. Jananivas Prabhu, thank you for joining us, and all the senior Vaishnavas in person and online. So, what was the main theme of this Prabhupada's class? What was the main thing? Yes, Bishal Prabhu? You can say it, I'll repeat.
Conclusion of the Vedas is that God is not the absolute truth is not impersonal, but actually personal, and impersonal realization is just a partial understanding, and God is ultimately Bhagavan.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, so that's the main theme: personalism, impersonalism, or voidism, which is what we say in Prabhupada's pranam mantras even, right? So Prabhupada starts with this main theme and bases his arguments on the logic of the creation, of how the absolute truth is beyond our sense perception, isn't it? And he smashes the professional reciters of Bhagavatam, and he says that, why does he do that? Why does Prabhupada go on to say that the impersonalists, or the professional reciters of the Vedanta, why are they misguiding the public? How are they misguiding the public? These are the specific things that Prabhupada says there.
Prabhupada says because they have no brain.
Yes, they are teeny brains, no brain, and their arguments are actually illogical, based on the creation. Brahma, there's creation, there's the he created all the sages, the saintly personalities, and just by that creation process, there is personality. There are persons. So then, logically, if there is a personality, then the ultimate creation is also an absolute truth, is a person. So why do the fact... They also go on to say that, Prabhupada also goes to say that the Vedanta Sutta is the most authentic text accepted by all classes of men. But the foolish think that the Vedantists are impersonalists, and so they try to use that text from being a person to actually go to the impersonal feature, which is completely nonsense, right? Because it doesn't make sense. If you're already a person and you're meditating on the personality, how can you then say, okay, well, I'm going to just merge into the effulgence of the Lord? So it's illogical, right? Prabhupada goes on to say all of these things in a completely illogical way, he says. And then he even says that as a result of that initial conversation in the Vedanta, what is the first instruction of the Vedanta? Atato Brahma Jignasa. So that's the purpose of the Vedantist. He explains who the Vedantists are. Lord Chaitanya is a Vedantist, we are also Vedantists, etc. like that. So that means if we are follower of the Vedanta, then we must also follow the author of the Vedanta, right? And we accept the author of the Vedanta as Vyasadeva. So then he also then mentions the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? He says the Gaudiya Vaishnavas haven't done what? What didn't the Gaudiya Vaishnavas do that they were accused of not doing by some of the scholars in the time? What didn't they do? Tarana Prabhu? Yes, they didn't write commentaries. Why didn't they write the commentaries? Yes, Karan Prabhu?
Because Bhagavatam is the natural commentary.
Exactly, because they accept the Srimad Bhagavatam as the natural commentary of the Vedanta. Nonetheless, just to satisfy the naysayers, as it were, who actually creates some sort of a commentary to the Bhagavatam? I'll go to the ladies, perhaps. Anyone? Yes, Bharata Vidya Bhushan. And what did he create? What did he write? Govindya Bhashya. Exactly. Tarana Prabhu, you have something to say? Question. Okay. So Antaranga Prabhu, Parama Prabhu, get ready for the question.
Bhagavatam is accepted as a natural commentary, but it's not like that is written authorizedly that Srimad Bhagavatam is commentary. Vyasadeva even didn't say that even. But it's accepted as a Vaishnava, as a natural commentary.
So the Gaudiya
you can debate. Who said you accept that? Oh, you accept.
So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so it's two conversations. So one, what you're saying is that there's a debate that whether the Srimad Bhagavatam can be accepted as a commentary. That's your comment?
It's accepted by Vaishnavas. But then Govinda said is mentioned outright.
Well, I think Prabhupada did it in the class, Arto Yam Brahma Sutranam.
Exactly.
Which is part of a verse from the Garuda Purana.
So Prabhupada mentions that in the class. He recites a verse from the Garuda Purana that sort of leads the reader towards saying, yeah, the Bhagavatam is the commentary and Vyasadeva is accepted as the author of the Bhagavatam. As we know, obviously, Narada Muni, Vyasadeva wasn't satisfied after writing all the Puranas, etc. And so Narada Muni was, he actually instructed him to write about the absolute truth. And therefore he wrote the Bhagavatam, the commentary on that. Right? What else so after that, after Prabhupada mentions about Bharata Vidya Bhushan and how he created this commentary, what else happened? What was the other theme that was in the class? He continues to actually smash the impersonalists further, especially the Vedantists, the so-called professional Vedantists in Vrndavan, he says, right? In Vrndavan, in many places, there are so many Vedantists who mislead the public. How do they do that? Exactly. So what it is that we know that there's three features of the Lord, three parts of realizations, right? Exactly. Thank you. So in that way, our reasons for studying the text, our reasons for chanting, our reasons for meditating on Krishna and in the chanting process is to have the Brahman, Paramatma, and then ultimately the Bhagwan realization. So he goes through that aspect, and then he uses the examples that we perceive. Actually, what example does he use? in order to perceive the ultimate truth, Bhagwan? Yes, sun and the sunshine. Exactly. Thank you, Palika Mataji. How we perceive the sun and the sunshine, but we know that the sun is the personality as described in the Shastras, no? So this is the whole point. He's saying, if we actually read the Shastras, we won't just use the analogy of impersonalism. We will actually understand there is a person beyond, even in the sun and the sunshine. Right? So therefore, this is an example that he uses. It's not, let's not just void the whole topic because it's complicated. Hence, you have teeny brains, foolish, like that. Yes. So there's Paramakaruna Prabhu.
I just would like to ask a question.
Oh. Yes, Prabhu.
Earlier on in the class, Prabhupada saying Bhagavatam verses there, Krishna knows everything directly and indirectly. What does that specifically mean? How does he know directly and how does he know indirectly? Prabhupada touches on it, but he's not.
He doesn't go into the detail, directly, indirectly. So, what do we think about that? There's Srinivas Prabhu. I have a few thoughts, but yes, Srinivas Prabhu, go for it.
Someone asked Prabhupada the question that does Krishna know what Mother Yashoda is going to do before she does it? And Prabhupada said yes, but we should not get into details about that.
So obviously, it is time, place and circumstance of what Prabhupada would have said at that time. Depends on who is in the audience. If he was in confidence with his disciples, his sannyas disciples, etc., he would have revealed something more, I would have thought. Obviously, the discussions are very confidential about the relationship between Krishna and Mother Yashoda. But nonetheless, we can know that Krishna actually knows everything that's going on. But he accepts himself as being covered by the Yoga Maya potency so that he can understand and feel and experience the loving exchanges that are going on in the pastime. So to answer Paramakaruna Prabhu's question also about the directly and indirectly aspect, just some thoughts that came to mind, and I'm sure others can contribute, is that obviously we have Paramatma within us. And we also have Krishna who can perceive that directly. So in that way, we know that every living entity has Paramatma, every soul has Paramatma, every atom has Paramatma within that. So in an indirect way, he can perceive everything. He will know. We won't know because we are Jivatma, we're not Paramatma. Right? So then we have a very minute consciousness, we have very minute experiences. However, we have all of the opulences, it's just that they're in a tiny, tiny, minute way, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Something further to add, Paramakaruna Prabhu, or is that okay? Yes, Antaranga Prabhu had a question.
To this point, directly and indirectly, you can also say that because Krishna is a person, he can perceive things directly. Absolutely. And indirectly through the energy of his Shakti Tattva and through the varieties of Shaktis which are preserving, maintaining, the creating cosmos. But my question is that you can see like the majority of religions and traditions and the majority of consciousness in people in the world is very much impersonal, like in the sense that they don't actually accept God as a person. So my question, and I was thinking about this for some time, is what is that factor or that predominant feature within the jiva's psyche to actually go down the route of impersonal worship? Like what is that psychological feature which motivates you to see God or as energy, as all-pervading non-personality? Like, what is the psyche of people to say that, no, God is not a person? Or even if they say that he is a person, they still act on the premises that he's energy. like, oh, he's the most powerful, most potent, omnipresent, only powerful, but they don't present him as an individual. So what's the motivation to be like this?
Thank you for that wonderful question. So, why does the individual jiva, remember he's come here to do what? What's the main purpose of any jiva coming to the material world? To lord it over material nature, to not serve Krishna directly. And so in order to do that, in order to fulfill their own individual desires, they wanted to lord it over the material nature and therefore negate the existence of Krishna. Because if they didn't do that, they won't be able to get their first intention. The first intention is to lord it over material nature. The second part of that, when they interact with material nature, they get illusioned more and more, because that is the nature of material nature. That is the characteristic trait of the material nature. And as they're getting more and more illusioned, they're thinking they're actually enjoying interaction with material nature, but in reality they're not. In reality, their true happiness belongs to serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Isn't it? And therefore, in that entanglement, they go down and down and down and down, and then they get bewildered, they get illusioned, they get into the mode of lust, anger, greed, envy, etc. And therefore, that cycle continues downwards. Until of such time that cycle is broken, and they come to this point of Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Isn't it? That's just my couple of pennies worth. Taruna Prabhu has a point to add.
There's a commentary in Srimad Bhagavatam also. They said that if one uses, this is one aspect you mentioned.
Yeah.
Another aspect is those who are inquisitive, really. If they're using their own faculties for intellectual capabilities, Prabhupada said, furthest point they can arrive is that God is impersonal.
Yeah.
Because if you can see our lives, like when we start to be inquisitive, furthest you can go in your speculation is that it's impersonal. That's the first. But this is also a process, because impersonal realization is first step in God realization.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
Even confusion with the Vedanta Sutra is Adhato Brahma Jigyasa. Doesn't say Adhato Bhagavan Jigyasa.
Yeah.
So,
it's a
but although
stone.
Lord Chaitanya said that Lord Krishna is present in every line of Vedanta Sutra, but only if you're super intelligent you can see that. If you read Vedanta Sutra, you will not see that.
No.
It's an ocean of confusion. So in that sense, Prabhupada said in commentary, that's how if you're using your capabilities, you must arrive to impersonal.
Yeah.
Because mercy case is another factor which turns you towards personalism.
Nice, thank you. Obviously, the other aspect of Vishal Prabhupada, I'll come to you in a second. The other aspect is that in that controlling nature of the jiva, therefore they come to this material world to control, right? So therefore what they will do, they will control those who aren't able to control. And they'll create therefore all these systems that controls the other jivas, because they actually have the nature of controlling. And this is what we see in the world today. There are systems created in education, in country creation, in security, in everything that we do. Everything is geared towards satisfying the few controllers that are there in this world, isn't it? So this is the whole point. Did you have something? Yes.
Just quick to add that, and since we're in that state of consciousness of enjoying, how we enjoy is through sense perceptions. And so we base everything of our intellect on sense perception. So we already automatically, from that point of view, will feel, well, I don't see Krishna based on my senses. And that lack of knowledge, we come to reach a conclusion. Most of the times, that lack of knowledge, that we'll come to reach conclusions based on that. That's also another reason.
That's right. So yeah, we are so attached, we become so attached to our body, then therefore we are only perceiving something that is related to the body. Absolutely. Thank you. Vishal Prabhu?
It's kind of been answered, but and it's similar to Antaranga's previous question. Like I was in Janmashtami, I was talking to some of the visitors, guests who also practice Sanatana Dharma, and I asked them.
Sorry, they practice
Sanatana Dharma.
Sanatana Dharma.
Hinduism.
Yes.
Real word is Sanatana Dharma.
Sure.
And so I was asking them, some of them, what is your conception of God? Is it a person or energy? And even they are so convinced, oh, absolutely, they say, absolutely energy, completely like that. So what is their psychology within the Hindu community to...
So this association, as we know, power of association is huge, right? We live in this world where a lot of the population are talking about how energies are. Oh, you die, and then the whole life flashes up against you, before you're passing away, and then there's this bright light that flashes in front of you. This is oftentimes when people are dying, they say these things. How truthful it is? Well, we don't know, right? So therefore, natural conclusion is, oh yeah, it must be just a bright light. We must just merge into a bright light, isn't it? So naturally, when that kind of conversations happen regularly, then everybody, even the Hindus who should know the text, what the texts say, start believing it. Because their texts have been, as we know previously, due to historical aspects, it's been negated. Bhagavatam, the Vedanta, it's been negated. Why? In order to control and to take the natural resources from those countries. Because without breaking their code of understanding the religion and understanding and following that religion, they couldn't infiltrate in Bharatvarsha, right? And therefore, they had to negate the religious principles, bring in a new religion, which is supposed to be modern and upgraded, so-called modern upgraded, and that's why they carry on in that way. So it's no wonder. I mean, we are living in England, in the United Kingdom. Majority of the people who came to the festival are from Sanatana Dharma or Hindu background. And their association in work, in conversations that they have, is like that. They will hear different things, isn't it? So their mind is getting confused over and over again. How many times do they... I spoke to also many people coming to visit, and I said, oh, have you read the Bhagavad Gita? Oh yeah, we have it at home. But they have not read it. It's on the altar, as it is. Some of them is not even as it is Bhagavad Gita, it's just a Bhagavad Gita. So the point is, they have the knowledge, they're not reading it. That's why then we said, okay, well, come to our Bhakti Riksha groups and come, join us, and we can go through and how to apply practically in your life. How does one verse of the Bhagavad Gita improve your life completely? Because you're practically applying it in your life. So that was the point, was some of the points that we made. But yeah, thank you. Something else? Yeah.
What would you advise in like preaching to the Hindu community to encourage them to actually
see the reality?
Yeah, dive deeper into the scriptures.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I mean, usually is trying to develop interest. Usually we know that if they have family, they have children, they are very much interested in the children. So you can talk about culture, you can talk about how, for example, our youth group under Sena, how they have a structured approach from cultural perspective. You can also talk about, okay, well, they go through things, they learn about public speaking, they learn about confidence building, they learn about how to actually navigate this world. So they're very much interested in bringing up the children in the right way, isn't it? So therefore, you have to find something that connects. If it's a single person working, then how to be a better character individual in order to perform best in your work is another angle. There's so many angles like that you can create interest in our scriptures. Because all these aspects are in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavatam, they teach us how to be a better human being. By simply being a better human being, you attract everything that's around you, and people generally like to be around people who are better human beings, isn't it? Like that. I'm conscious of the time. It's 8:45. Thank you everybody for contributing so nicely. Anything further to add, dear Jinanivas Prabhu? Maybe I've missed some things that you've caught. Giving the mic.
I think this may have taken place here in the
Bhaktivedanta
in this temple, or
Yes.
the London temple. But anyway, Prabhupada met with some of these. There was a club called Mentor Club, and you had to have a very high IQ to belong to that club. And so they came to see Prabhupada, and they posed a trick question to him. And they said, is God so great he can build a mountain that he cannot even live on? Trick question. If he says one, then he isn't. So Prabhupada said, yes. They said, then he is not God. Then he can lift.
Isn't that wonderful? You know, Prabhupada even defeated the most intelligent class of individuals who came to question him in such a way. Right? Thank you for adding that. Wonderful story. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
His Grace Sankirtan Priya Prabhu ki.
Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai.
Mm.